Tin rail party, we're gonna connect her, yeah! It's no good. It's no good. Oh, try it again. This is my tin rail party, we're gonna connect her. Tin rail party, we're gonna connect her, yeah! Shoo! Yeah! Yeah! My baby! Excuse me. So these are Wago nuts mounted in housings on a DIN rail clip. It's all 3D printed, not the Wago nut connectors, of course. So these Wago nuts, if you haven't seen these before, they are a very DIY friendly way to connect wires together. They're really meant for things like light switches. If you want to replace your own light switches, instead of getting those twisty wire nut things to hook your wires together, you can use one of these instead. So this is a 5-wide wire nut. These are all electronically connected in there. And what you do is you flip open this lever, you put in your wire, bottom it out, boop, and now she is secure. And it also offers, especially for me, some reliability because I don't always use those wire nuts correctly. I have a weak soldering game. Weak. Who are you? Why do you treat me that way? Don't you know you're home? So these Wago nuts, at least this size, can hold anywhere between 12 gauge down to 24 gauge, I believe. This is 22 gauge wire, so it's on the smaller side and still holding well. It can also hold either stranded or solid core wire, and they are reusable, right? So I do makery, prototypey sorts of stuff, and so I really value the ability to reuse these things. I also use these as fidgets sometimes, so I know that these levers are still nice and tight after a good 1,000 flicks. So this is some DIN rail right here, and the way that this clips on there is there's this little, what would you call that? So there's this little guy right there that you would hook onto the DIN rail, and the other side has a smaller little clippy boy, and that hooks onto the opposite side. But this flexes out and allows you to get it on. So get that on there, and then push down, click, get her. And you can then flex that back out to get it back off. This also has a very handy flathead little doobie there, so you can just put that in there, bend it out. And that is especially handy when you've already screwed down your DIN rail and you want to be able to get it on and off, because you can't get your fingers under there, even if you have normal size fingers then, not little chunky fingers like me. So you just get your flathead, bloop, comes right off, easy peasy. All right, so in action, what might this look like? So here I've got a little battery bank, some 18650s. So I need to put about 5 amps through each of these stepper motor drivers. And so I'm using my Wago nuts here to make connections and divide out my positive and negative to make connections with multiple wires here. These are stranded, floppy 16 gauge guys, and this is a solid core, and they are all nicely in there. And I can, of course, take that out. There you go. Bloop. And because of the modularity of these things, if I needed to make more connections, you see I've got this filled up, I could, of course, shuffle things sideways, flick that off, put on a wider nut, put on more nuts, put on more components, whatever, and then wire everything back up, and I don't have to take everything off in order to do that. Very handy. And of course, a little testy test. Oh yeah, there we go. I mean, it's not powering a motor, but whatever. So to build one of these things, you're going to print these in a couple different parts, which will allow you to not use supports. It's my preferred way to print everything because supports are really a pain to clean up, and they make things ugly. Ugly, I tell you. So this will be printed like that. It's basically a 2-dimensional figure. And these are a little more complicated, but you just print it flat up, and it should print just fine. I've got these little wavy things, which help with the there's some straining that was going on underneath there. So that's just a little trick to get that to work well. All right, so to assemble these things, there are a couple latches in here that you need to get but they don't extend the entire way. So you need to get the Wago nut past that. So you slip it over, and then press it down, click, clack, and she's in. Same with all the other ones. There we go. And once these things are in, they are like in. I mean, these things are quite durable. I've messed around with them a lot. And the only time that I've ever broken a Wago nut is when I was trying to figure out how to remove these things non-destructively. So, yeah. And on the sides, they have just enough clearance. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Just enough clearance past that latch that they don't hit on there. You have just enough clearance at the bottom that you can open up all the way. Oh, it's great. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. It's good. And then these are just little dummy guide slots to put these on there. They're not latches or anything. You'll have to super glue these things down or whatever glue of choice. I don't care. Heat gun, lick it, use your innate acidic spit. And there you have Wago nuts you can mount on din rail. Oh God. So a couple different variants. There's this kind that can hold 3 different housings, and this variant that holds 3 wide Wago nuts. And of course, oh yeah, I just love that. And there you have it. Let's go make some stuff.